Hey folks, it's John with KGTropicals.com. All right, when it comes to this 240-gallon overhaul project, there's only one thing that we really haven't talked about, and that's the substrate. So today I want to talk about what we used, why we used it, and then show you the process of installing it. Now, I actually don't have a video showing it. I thought the camera was on, but it wasn't. I'm sorry, but there wasn't a whole lot to show anyway. Scooping sand out of a bucket and putting it into a tank, that's not very entertaining. But we're going to talk about that process. So when it came time to make the decision of what kind of substrate to use, it was really a no-brainer because another decision was made before that one, and that was to go with the 3D background. And to me, when you go with a 3D background, you should almost be required to go with sand because they go together so well. It really gives you that kind of a natural, true fit to the aquarium. Gravel with a 3D background, it just doesn't work for me. That's just my opinion. So it was really a no-brainer. 3D background, sand. Now, what kind of sand? There's a lot of different choices out there, and if you read on different forums and stuff like that, you're going to hear play sand. You're going to hear sand that's supposed to be in pool filters. All of this stuff works, folks, but if you're going to keep African cichlids, there's really only one option, and that is the African cichlid mix from Caribsea. Now I'm going to show you this. We have the bag. We got an extra bag. This is what we used in our tank. It is the African cichlid mix white sand. We could not be happier with it. It has absolutely affected the look of our fish. It has affected their attitude, everything about them. They look better, they look healthier, they look happier, and a lot of that is from the substrate because this substrate is made from materials specifically for raising your pH and hardening the water in your tank. So it kind of does work for you. One of the questions I get a lot is, how do I raise my pH? Well, this is your answer, folks. This is a better option than putting in chemicals and pH up and all this kind of stuff to bring it up. If you forget to do that after a water change, it's a big mess. You put this in, you never have to fool with it again. And it keeps everything balanced. So it really takes a lot of the guesswork out of maintaining your pH, which is why it was a no-brainer. That's what we wanted to go with when we made the decision to go with the 3D background. So they fit together perfectly. I am thrilled with it, but we do have to talk about the installation process. Now, I knew this going in. I knew that it was going to be a challenge, so it wasn't something that made me mad or shocked me or anything like that. I've used sand before, and it pretty much every time is going to cloud up your water when you first put it in the aquarium. It's nothing to be alarmed about. It's fine. Now, I was gonna do a video about cleaning the sand and all of that. I didn't do it for two reasons. One, I thought me doing that would be a little bit boring. And for two, Lou9294 did one recently. Go check his out. He did it the exact same video that I would have done. So why do that? Just go over and watch his. He's got the same sand, it might be a different color, but the same sand, and he cleans it out, shows you how to do that whole process. But I'm gonna tell you this, no matter how much you clean it, it's still gonna cloud up your water a little bit. So I took photographs of the whole thing. I took photographs, several hours apart, and I'm gonna show those on a slideshow here in a second to show you about how long it took for the water to clear up from when we first introduced the sand. Now, as you can see, and as I've pointed out in other videos, it's still not 100% clear. The sand has been in the tank for 3 days, and it's a dramatic difference from when we first put it in. When we first put it in, we were dealing with 10 bags of this stuff. It almost looked like we filled the aquarium full of milk. It was bad. But we've worked with it, and I'll talk about all of that in the slideshow, talk about what we did to clear it up, and so it looks pretty daggone good now, but it's still not absolutely perfect. 3 days. I'll let you know, and you'll see it when it is perfect. So I want to touch on two more real quick things, products that Caribsea sent me that I didn't ask for, but I'm super excited that they sent it because it's definitely helped out a lot. One of them is this. Now, I talked about this in the reveal where I showed you the sump. I put 2 containers of this into the sump. Now, what it is larger chunks of aragonite which is basically the same material that this sand is made of. And so it's just another substance to put in your tank. You can put it in the tank and use it as decoration. For you saltwater people, you can use it as little anchors for your frags and things like that. There's so many different uses for it, but in the African cichlid world, it's used for the same reasons that you would use this particular sand. It helps to raise your pH, raise your hardness, and maintain that forever so that you don't have to keep messing with it. The other thing I'm excited about, I don't have any here to show you right now, but I'll show you in a future video. They also sent me 2 40-pound boxes of what they call their South Seas stone base, I think is what they call them. But it's basically these in large form. It almost looks like Texas Holy Rock. Lisa and I are kind of on the fence. We're probably going to put some in here in the 240, so you'll see that in a future video. Super stoked about that. It's awesome. I'm soaking them right now, so that's why I don't have them to show you, but I'll show you those in a future video. Let's move on and let's talk, or let's look at the slideshow, and we'll talk about it, and we'll talk about the installation of this product. All right, so here we're looking at a photo I took about 6 hours after the install, just like it says on the bottom. When I first put the sand in, it was really bad. The water almost looked like milk. You couldn't see the background at all. You couldn't even see past an inch into the tank. So that was my fault. I didn't clean it good enough. I had a lot of bags of sand, so it was difficult to get it all cleaned out and run a store at the same time. So you know, I didn't get it as clean as I should have, but here we are 6 hours after. I did a 50% water change. This is about 10:30 at night that I took this photo. And then we're gonna move forward here to about 17 hours after install. This is the morning after, and you can see it looks much better. Nowhere near perfect, but you can see the background, you can see the rocks, you can see the air stones. It's definitely progress. And then here we are an hour after that, where we had put the fish back in. The cloudiness in the water does not hurt the fish at all, so they were safe to go back into their home where they're comfortable. And now we move to 24 hours into or after the install. Again, you can see the progress. It's getting much better. Still not close to perfect, but it's getting there. And now we're going to bounce forward again to 48 hours, and you can see it's almost perfect. So 2 days and it's almost perfect. It's probably going to be 4 or 5 days before it's immaculate. But you know, that's the cost for not cleaning it thoroughly like I should have done in the beginning. So I would recommend to you, if you are going to install this sand, which I think you should, don't do what I did. Clean it thoroughly. Be diligent about it. When you think it's clean, do it some more. And, you know, really get that stuff thoroughly cleaned. And I'll be honest with you, if you do that, when you put this sand in, it's probably still going to cloud it up a little bit, but you'll probably start with your tank looking like that picture as opposed to looking like the first one. So clean it out, you know, take your time with it, be smart. You will absolutely love this product. The effect that it's had on the appearance of the tank as well as on the fish is dramatic. So you know the name Caribsea, you know they're the biggest name in substrates in the world, so I shouldn't have to sell you this product. You know it's a good product. Go on their website, www.caribsea.com. I think it's actually pronounced Caribsea, but I say Caribsea, and check out what they have. They've got hundreds of different types of substrates for freshwater and saltwater. So thank you for watching. I hope this makes this install a little less scary for you.
Check out www.KGTropicals.com and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for all the latest updates on the 240 overhaul project and our weekly series Tank Talk.